Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Tim. I'm a flooring and stair contractor, and today I'm going to be answering your questions that you've left and unboxing this new Dewalt table saw. Now, if you've seen any of my videos, you know I'm a Dewalt and Festool guy. I have to have the newest and coolest of those brands, and today it is the 8 1/4 inch table saw by Dewalt. Now, I've always had the 10 inch. The 8 1/4 is something they came out with a few months ago. Not quite sure how it's going to go yet, but today we're going to open it up and take a look at it while I answer all your questions. So I'm going to tell you how I got this saw. I was able to save some money. Right now, Lowe's has this saw on sale, I think, for $349 with the stand. Home Depot has this saw for $329, and guess what? They price match. So I got the one at Lowe's with the stand for the Home Depot price. You know what? It might make more sense to open up the stand first. Then we can set this saw on it. Kind of more curious about this almost to see what they give you for free. Yep, this is a free stand that they gave you with purchase. This is why I went with Lowe's. The Home Depot one did not come with the stand. Oh no, some assembly required? That's not good. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Wow, that's kind of low, huh? Guess that's what you get for free. You sure make it look bigger in the picture. Did I get the right one?
Yeah, upside down.
No. Yeah, that's it. Wow, that is a little guy. Huh. Interesting.
Looks totally
I don't
different.
think that these are gonna make it. Well, hold on. Now I'm feeling a little bit better about this stand right now, because guess what? I like working on the ground to begin with, but that right there wouldn't be pointless to even use it. Basically on the ground. But they give us some legs, and let's hope that they don't require too much to put them together. Go ahead and give me that first question.
Turgo Timbercraft laminate flooring installation and review. Eugene Ray says, so it's not necessary to use spacers when installing laminate? I imagine that since it's a wood, there could still be expansion and contraction.
Spacers, there's nothing wrong with using spacers, but a lot of times when, was it laminate?
Laminate, yeah.
So a lot of times when we do these laminate floors and these vinyl floors, we will install the first 3 or 4 rows pushed right up against the wall, because when you put that spacer there, the floor wants to move around on you, and sometimes the spacer tends to get in the way. So what I like to do is push it right up against the baseboard or wall, whatever you have there. Install those first 4 rows, 3 rows, whatever you're comfortable with, and then pull it out. Put some weight on it. If you have a wood subfloor, you can even nail it to the floor or screw it to the floor and then take the screw out later. But then you can put that spacer in once you get those rows in. It makes it a lot easier. It's a lot simpler when you have those spacers in. They just tend to get in the way.
Gabby G, on your DIY quarter-round molding installation video.
Boy, I get more comments. I get more comments on this scissor video than any video that I've ever made. For some reason, people love to comment on the scissor video. Guess what, guys? It's quarter round, it's paint grade, and it needs to be painted and caulked. Caulking and paint makes us what we ain't. Once that's done, it looks perfect. Can you get a tighter seam with a chop saw? I hope so, because it's a chop saw. It's a lot more complicated, but a scissor is very simple, it's quick, it's to the point. And guess what? That's what we use, especially when we're working in 2-story homes and the chop saw is downstairs. But go ahead with the question.
Okay, Gabby G. She wants to know that she's struggling to cut straight cuts on composite. Any advice? They're awesome so far, but I'm having to recut.
I'll be honest, straight cuts is not usually an issue that we have problems with because it's a straight cut. Usually it's the 45s and the corners that most people have problems with. But I'd have to say, if you're probably having problems with the straight cut, when you're cutting through, that quarter round's probably moving a little bit on you. If you can kind of hold it in place a little bit tighter to the fence on the scissor while you cut, it'll cut straighter. If it moves while you're cutting it, the board will kind of get away from you and escape, and it'll cause it to actually curve the cut a little bit. I have to imagine that's probably what it is. It's sliding a little bit while you're cutting. Now I do have a trick for that 45 corner. A lot of times when you cut the 45 corner, you will get a belly on it and you won't get those corners tight. If you watch my, I'll put the link in the description, if you watch my quarter round scissor video, not the first one, one of my more in-depth ones, we have a trick, a hack for how to get your 45 corners perfect. And I'll put the link below for that. And I might even put in there the time in the video where you can see that. Thanks for the question.
Okay. We have a three-part question now from Christy Lou. On your Nucor waterproof vinyl flooring installation DIY, start to finish wood flooring Nucor video. Okay, Christy Lou says, hi, this is very helpful. I have a few questions. One, when you overlay vinyl planks over hardwood in the kitchen, how do you do around the island and cabinets? Do you leave a gap against the cabinets?
So, this is wood, right? Or vinyl?
Vinyl, Nucor.
Okay. The nice thing about vinyl, unlike wood and laminate, we don't have to leave as much expansion. So, especially on the short ends of the board, not the long joint, but the short end, you really have to leave almost no expansion at all, basically. Now, on long islands, around islands, I like to go pretty tight. If you can get it tight enough that you can just caulk it, great. But if not, a lot of times what I'll use is doorstop. Yep, doorstop. It's that thing that goes around the middle of the door casing. And I have a video, 7 tips or 7 ideas, 7 hot ideas to make your floors look great. I'll put the link in the description below for that as well. But we use doorstop a lot of times around that island. We can either stain it or paint it, and it doesn't stick out nearly as much as quarter round, and it's a nice way to finish off along islands. Actually, I just did it in another one of my videos lately as well, and I'll try to put the link for both of those videos so you can get an idea what it's going to look like. Part 2 now, go ahead.
How would you do the transition between 2 rooms with 1-inch depth?
So, it sounds like we have a height issue here. We have one room that's higher than the other. So a lot of times I try to eliminate this in the first place. So for example, if we have tile throughout the whole house, or it sounds like you might have wood throughout the whole house, and maybe you don't have wood or tile in one of the bedrooms, what I like to do is I like to raise up that room before we start the installation with either some cork or some plywood or even some Durarock. Durarock's great for being mold and moisture resistant. That will raise the height of the floor up so that the floor can flow nicely. If you don't have the luxury of doing that, or you don't have the ability, or that's just not feasible, the other idea is custom moldings. And I have a video where I show how I make out of oak a custom saddle or molding to go across that doorway that'll transition to 2 height floors as much as 1.5 inches if need be. And I do it quite a bit on a lot of my jobs. Actually, I got a client right now that I'm making a custom molding for, and maybe I'll even I'll show a video on that molding that I make for them. And with those custom moldings, of course, we're going to stain it to match your vinyl floor. Now, I didn't tighten it up all the way. This sounds like a job for the kids. Well, I call them my kids. They're 22 and 20, or going to be 20 this month. It sounds like a job for them tomorrow, but this is the idea. We've got to stand together, so now when I open up this saw, set that bad boy right on top, and we'll be ready to go. Hit it with the next question, please, Mama.
Alright, this is the third part of her question. Number 3. What can we do at the stair nose of the floor of the hallway? Thanks.
Well, that is a great question, and believe it or not, I have a couple, at least one, I think 2 videos just devoted. I have 2 videos just devoted to top steps. Bear with me for a second while we get this out. We want to have good sound. Oh yeah, oh yeah, this is it. Boy, my old saw, which still runs like a beauty, is missing half the dials and knobs and handles. I wore that thing into the ground and it's still kicking. I'm very superstitious. That saw has brought me lots of good luck and lots of amazing jobs were done with it, so I was a little reluctant in switching to a new saw, but this was just too good of a deal. And they threw in that stand. Not everybody's like me that likes to work on the ground. You know, I'm good. I can work up, down, all around, on my head, in the dark, you name it. But I gotta look, you know, it's not just about me. I have to realize that. So I have to think about my kids, or my sons, and my guys that work for me. So we went with the stand. We went with the new saw, with all the guards and safety features still intact. So getting back to your question though, I actually have at least two videos just dedicated. I have at least 2 videos just dedicated to top steps. I have a special way that I connect my hallways to my staircases. I'm a little different than most people. I like to go with what looks the best and what is not going to create a tripping hazard. A lot of times vinyl floors unfortunately have overlapping moldings where they sit on top of the floor. It's a tripping hazard and it looks really tacky, and I don't like that. So I like to make my own custom moldings, and rather than me try to explain it all here, I'm going to put the link in the description for top step videos and you can check it out for yourself. I appreciate you watching and thanks for the question. That was an excellent question. You know, a lot of times I wonder, I have so many videos. I have about 100 and I think I'm over 150 videos now, and I try to make playlists and everything, but when you have this many videos, it's hard for people to find them all. I wish there was a better way that it would just pop up, or I could organize it. But even on the front page of my YouTube page, I can only have like 10 featured playlists, you know? So it's hard for everybody to find everything. So questions like this are great because it allows us to talk about it and maybe help other people that have that same problem. Because I believe it or not, I get a lot of people that ask questions like that. And a lot of times people call me to fix their top steps where the other company put one of those overlapping or tacky moldings in and they're just not happy with them. All right, next question.
Okay, Larry Dunn. He writes, hey, liked and subscribed. I have several questions based on a few of your vids. 1, I have 2 concerns, re LVP, but have to use 775 feet in a lowest level that is half subter slab and half wood framing, open crawl space, hillside. 1, I've seen videos, not yours, but I've seen videos where couches leave dents in new core after a while. Another of your videos shows new core dents more than life-proof. 2, a certain website is about 90% negative reviews, pretty much about every brand, Nucor, Lifeproof, and Shaw. Usually about separating after a few months or a year, and some about easy scratching, some about tongue breaking off during installation. What difference is it how thick a wear layer is, if it's softish acrylic or urethane, that is, not aluminum oxide? I can spend $4.50 or so, but I would prefer to spend $3 a foot, as I am living on Social Security. I will install it myself, as I did the upper 2 levels of the house with engineered hardwood. That engineered doesn't dent and is really scratch resistant. I'm assuming aluminum oxide top coat. At what price point do I get an easy install, no separation down the line, a hard core that doesn't dent under a couch, and a wear layer that is really hard and dent resistance? At what price point?
So that's a great question. So first of all, let's talk about those negative websites. I hear a lot of people talk about this one website with the couch that dents the floor. I think that pops up more than anything. Now, I would love to be able to question this person a little bit more, because I think that some of the first generation vinyls, especially the first generation new cores and all the first ones that were really thin, they did dent a lot easier. So I wonder, you know, is that an older vinyl? It seems funny that that's one of the only websites, there's a couple but not many, that actually show denting and scratching. I go with the numbers. I see a lot more compliments and good reviews on it than I see bad. I've spent hours looking for bad and negative reviews, and I found that one. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I wonder about the validity of it. Sometimes we get competitors that will put stuff on because they don't want it, they can't sell Nucor, for example. That's a Floor & Decor product, just like LifeProof is a Home Depot product. So if you can't sell it and you're losing customers to it, of course you're going to badmouth it. But there's always,
don't like big box stores.
yeah, and a lot of people don't like big box stores. Me, I don't have a horse in the race, so I don't sell vinyl. I mean, I do, but I don't really, it's not my thing. I'll supply it for my customers to try to save them money, but at the end of the day, I like going out, doing the job, and that way, if it's the thing, like maybe you don't like the color once it's in or something, it's not on me. You know, I tell all my customers, do your research, and price point is a good way to look at it. So anything around the $3 price point, you're going to get a quality, a decent product if you get it from one of the big box stores, the Home Depot, the Lowe's, and the Floor & Decors. All their qualities are going to be very, very consistent. Anything less than $3, it starts getting questionable. Now, you're asking me what's really good? Two products come to mind right away. I just installed some Nucor Performance last week, and I want to say that was under $4. I'll try to put something in the description. I'll do a little research on it. But there was another product that I did a few months ago. I'm horrible with time. It was probably 5-6 months ago. Pergo Extreme. Pergo Extreme and Nucor Performance were very comparable. They're basically stone cores, which means they are really, really dense and hard to scratch. They're even difficult to cut. So you said you're installing it yourself. This is not the easiest product to install. Now, do you need this product? I don't know. If you're retired and you have a quiet lifestyle, I don't think you're going to have any problems with any of just the $3 rigid cord vinyls from LifeProof, Nucor, Shaw, all those brands, the Home Depot, the Lowe's, Floor & Decor, ones that you spend about $3 for. But if you want something better, then go with the stone core ones like the Nucor Performance or the Pergo Extremes. Those are really dense. I mean, you can't even score them with your knife, which is the downside to it, because a lot of times the beauty of vinyl, we don't need these saws like this. All I use is one of these. I can do an entire job with this and a jam saw, basically. But if you want something good, then go with the Performance. You're probably looking around $4. Do I think you need it? Probably not. But if you're like me and you don't want to take any chances, you just want the best, then yeah, that's probably going to do it. Thanks for the question, and of course, thanks for watching and subscribing. We're going to do a live. We're going to start doing some live streaming where we answer your questions live eventually. You know, I'm a flooring guy and a carpenter, and I do all this kind of stuff. This stuff's easy. This stuff where I'm doing the filming and the videos, this is a lot more challenging. So I'm getting the hang of it. I'm upping my game technology-wise and stuff like that, getting the better cameras, the computers, and all the equipment. And eventually we're going to be set up for live streaming where we can answer your questions live pretty soon. Exciting, exciting, exciting. Oh yeah.
Ken Rose wants to know, do you need an underlayment if you're putting Nucor flooring over ceramic tile?
So, and I answer and I tell people, so basically this is something I feel like I repeat all the time to my clients. About a year or two ago, Nucor said you could not use an underlayment if you wanted to keep your warranty intact. Then they switched and said if you use their Sentinel padding under their floor, you're fine. So you can use a padding under Nucor if you want, if it's theirs. Do you need it with tile? Well, is your tile flat? Padding will slightly help if your tile's off a marginal amount. I'm not saying if your tile's off by a quarter or even an eighth of an inch, the padding's not going to do anything. You may have to do some leveling or consider your other options. But if you want to put a padding under it, it will help alleviate a little bit of unevenness. Is it something that's necessary? No. Do I use it very often? No. Can you use it? Yes. Now we just went through one this week, and I'm going to be dropping a video on a horrible vinyl floor. You're going to have to keep an eye out for it. This was probably one of the worst vinyls I ever installed. Actually, funny thing is, we went 2 products for the same customer because the manufacturer switched the first product out, and then they sent us an even worse product. Well, probably not even worse product, but a product that was just as bad. So under that floor, we put padding, and it didn't make any difference. So a lot of times, you have to know your house. If your tile's flat, flush, and you don't have anything unevenness, then you probably don't need it. If you want your floor to have a little more give to it, then go with the padding. I'm liking this saw, let me tell you. It is all nice, new, and shiny. Won't stay like that for long. This is an 8 1/4 inch version, so what that is the blade is 8 1/4 inch compared to the 10 inch. I don't know why they decided to switch to the smaller blade sizes. I think it's going to end up costing me more money in the long run because there's so many blades available in the 10 inch version that they're a lot cheaper. Now, I looked at Home Depot and Lowe's, they carry like 1, I think maybe 2 now that they have this saw, blades that are 8 1/4 inch size compared to like, you know, probably 10 different choices at the 10 inch. So when there's less choices, it usually costs more. I'm anxious to run this thing on the job this week and see if it's just as powerful, how it cuts. I don't think it's going to cut any different, honestly. A lot of times what I like about smaller blades is they tend to wobble less, and they do make for more accurate cutting. Let me tell you what I like about the Dewalt table saws and why this is the only saw that I will use on one of my job sites. It's really simple. You see these two, there's a knob here and a knob here, and there's one adjacent to it in the back. I can hook the fence up on this side, or I can use the ones on over here. Now there's a lock or a release over here. That is going to allow me to turn this dial and adjust my fence. So say I want to make a 4-inch cut, and I have like 25 boards that I want to cut at 4 inch, and that's 4 inches there. I lock it into place, and now I just keep running my boards down there. But this is a very precise cut. So I don't want to move my fence. So now anyone that wants to use the saw has to wait for me to cut all my boards, or I have to, on a normal table saw, I have to take the fence off and hope I can lock it on to the same exact location. Now, not with Dewalt though. With Dewalt, if my son wants to make a cut and I'm worried about losing my mark, it doesn't matter, because when I take the fence off right here, the guide stays in place, okay? They can make their cuts, then I put the fence right back onto the same place. That doesn't happen with most saws. Most saws, when you put the fence on, you put the fence somewhere on this whole piece doesn't move. You put the fence on here and you manually just move the fence side by side. So when you take the fence off, you lose your spot. Not with this. With the guide that they make, I can set it, I can lock it, and then I can take the guide off, the fence off, and I can make any other cuts, and then I want to come back to that same mark later on, I just put it right back there. That is awesome, and that's a feature that I use all the time. And that's a feature that only Dewalt has. But it does have a lot of other great features, don't get me wrong. It's a beautiful saw. Let's put this thing on it. Let's put this bad boy up on its stand and see it in all its glory. Come on, Mom. By the way, she is my mom.
I am not.
See if it holds me. Oh, no, I'm not going to get on there. Probably could hold me, but, you know, especially I lost so much weight. Like, I'm like a wafer model. Am I see-through yet? Well, that's my saw, and that's my questioning. Well, my questions I answered. I haven't been questioned. That would be an interrogation, right?
Go ahead.
I love it. I love you.
Hurry
my
up.
new Dewalt. We got batteries are dying. It's getting late. My sons want to eat. It's a Sunday night. It's Father's Day. This is my day. But I love answering your questions. Keep them coming. I hope I answered all your questions. I hope you found this interesting, somewhat enjoyable, and maybe I'll even put the link in the description for this table saw. It's a great deal on Amazon as well. Check it out. They also have it, I mentioned, at Lowe's. If you want to do the deal that I worked out with them, tell them it's cheaper at Home Depot. They may give it to you for a lower price. Actually, they have to give it to you at a lower price. Tell them I said so. Tell them Jones knows everything, and he knows pricing, and he knows floors. So I hope you found this useful. If you like this and you enjoy our content, please help support us by liking, sharing, and of course subscribing. It helps us more than you realize. YouTube really doesn't promote us that well, so it takes viewers giving that thumbs up and turning those notifications on to really help us grow. If you're new to the channel and you really like what we're doing, we also have a PayPal link down here. It's not under the saw, is it? But it's down below somewhere here, and we're trying to get some better camera and audio equipment like the new Sony we're on today. If you're new around here, you're definitely going to want to check out all of our other content. We have lots of great videos on how to install wood, laminate, and vinyl floors, plus my favorite product reviews. I review wood, laminate, and vinyl, even put a head-to-head. Run them over and dunk my smudge. I do whatever it takes to find out which of these floors are best for you. If you haven't subscribed yet, I want you to take out your favorite flooring mallet, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss any future content. Thanks for watching. I made it. The battery didn't die. Yes! Happy Father's Day to me. It's my day of the year. It's here. Goodbye.